Hello, I'm Coach Natalie, and welcome to another episode of Jiu Jitsu for Dummies. Well, today is our 30th episode, and you're in for a real treat. This series is meant for beginners, and so we tend to tackle just kind of one move, one submission a day. But what if you do a move and it doesn't work, or they counter your move? And what do? You would, of course, in real life or in jiu-jitsu, you would go to plan B. And so what would that plan B look like? And what if then they countered your plan B? Then you want to go to plan C. So in jiu-jitsu, we have something called chaining submissions, with the idea that you're going to try to do the one move, but if they, react or stop you, then you use their reaction to set up your next move. Now, if you've followed my series for any length of time, we today are going to chain together 3 moves. First, in episode 2, we learned an arm bar from the guard, so we'll use that. In episode 9, we did a cross collar choke. Now, that was from the mount, but the same basic position, we'll use that as a submission too. But we're first going to start off with the inverted arm bar. We only covered that like 2 weeks ago in episode 27. So what I will do is show the submission, the full submission, and then I'll say, hey, what if they react to it? And then, what would you do next? And then before we go any further, I want to give a shout out to my friend T in Toronto. T is celebrating a birthday this week. Happy birthday, brother. And he said that he really enjoys my series. He says they're positive, they're funny. It's really helped him get through some tough days in this last year, as I'm sure we've all experienced. So thanks for the shout out, brother. Have a good birthday this weekend, and let's celebrate it and learn some chained submissions. So let's check it out. We're first going to do the inverted arm bar, and then I'll show what it's going to move to, which will be the cross collar choke, and then we'll finally finish with an arm bar from guard. So, if you remember from episode 27, this is when someone's in your guard and they're kind of a big person and you can't get your legs fully around them. So, Sally here is in my guard. Now, my right leg is going to be next to her hip. I'm going to be overhooking this arm in what we call the whizzer. And on this side, I'm underhooking, and my left leg is going to be on her back. Overhooking this arm, underhooking this side, and then I turn over to her. Now, normally, this leg is up here. Normally what will happen is I'll grab the head, shuck it away, and do the arm bar. Again, overhooking this arm, underhooking here, have this leg here. Turn to them because it allows you to get the leg up. This hand grabs the head and shucks away. And that's extending this arm. Now, a experienced jiu-jitsu player is not going to want to have their arm extended. They're going to say, they're up to no good. So they're going to want to, get that arm out, and they're going to be sitting up. And that's actually going to set us up for our first chain, which will be to the cross collar choke. So here, again, as I was saying, foot on the hip, overhook, underhook, leg, grab. So what they're going to do is when they feel this arm being extended, they realize they're in danger. They're not going to be sitting up. And that's going to give you space to do the next submission. So when they set up, this arm was here, I'm going to grab this collar and I'm going to stick this hand in just as far as I can. Now, if this is just a cross collar choke and they didn't stop me, this hand goes underneath, grabs the other side of the collar, and I would be bringing my elbows in, and this side of my forearm is on one side of their neck. This other side is on the other side of their neck. What I'm doing is I'm making this kind of motion. So again, I'm extending their arm, they sit up, I'm like, that's fine, reach in, grab the collar just as far as you can, other hand goes underneath, and that would be the cross collar choke. If you've been doing Jiu Jitsu for any amount of time, the only thing worse than having your arm extended is having someone have a cross grip on your lapel, because again, that's the setup for the cross collar chokes. That tells them, I'm in danger. Got to get rid of that cross grip. So we're going to build on that reaction. Again, they're sitting upright. I reach in. I grab the collar. About to do the other one, and they're like, nope, got to get rid of this hand. So that's fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cuff grip their cuff, well, that's why it's called the cuff grip, and I'm going to shut that arm underneath my underarm. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pivot and have my foot on their back, still holding onto their lapel. I'm going to put my leg over their head, and then the last thing I'm going to do, go forward, put my knees together. Now that I'm doing this, grab both hands, thumb up, and do the arm bar. Again. Again. Sally here. She's escaped. I'm doing this, trying to set up for the cross collar choke. She's like, no, get rid of this arm. I'm like, okay, give me this arm. Cuff grip, shuck it. Take this foot, and I am now pivoting to the right. This foot is on her back, you can see that. The other leg goes over the head. Still holding on to here. Kick forward. Now, once both legs are over their head, you can let go. 2 on 1, their thumb is up. And get to the arm bar. And that is a chain of submissions. We actually do a short chain. I'm in episode 10, as you remember. We're sitting on our opponent here. In this case, Sally. You know, trying to do the Americana. They turn around to save their arm. And then, of course, grabbing here, going forward, get the head over, and then do the submission now. So that's episode 10. So, but chaining submissions. You know, most beginners are just happy to do the one move. But as we learn more moves, occasionally we'll learn how we might chain them together. So, as I said, the inverted armbar we talked more about in episode 27. The cross collar choke more in episode 9, and the armbar from guard in episode too. So if you want more details about those, check out some of those old episodes. I appreciate your support, and like I said, this is our 30th episode, and surprised that we've gotten this far, but look forward to the next 30. Check out my Facebook page, Natalie with some Jiu Jitsu. Give me some suggestions, and look forward to hearing from you. And thank you again for following me on Jiu Jitsu for Dummies.